anyway, and hopefully Sheila will definitely be joining us. And I don't know what's happened to Catherine. She may have forgotten. She said last time she totally forgot.
Can we text her?
Sorry?
Can we text her? Does everyone have her number?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who can text her?
Cynthia's on it.
Cynthia.
Catherine? Okay.
Yeah, do you have a number? And Damien, because he definitely said he would be around, but
Damien? I thought Damien was up in Desolation.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, he was. And he came back yesterday. Today, actually, he was flying out this afternoon. No, he was flying out yesterday afternoon from Quadra to come down here because he discovered he had a hospital appointment tomorrow morning.
Discovered.
So he was going to try and be here this evening. It depended on. Well, shall I spill the beans? He has a no. Okay, sorry.
It's also dependent on tides. But can I say, is he desolated?
Can you imagine doing a bow prep on a boat? Oh my God.
I
didn't say that. I didn't say that. Okay.
Yes, you did. We all know.
I recorded it.
He may be busy this evening.
Oh, we're recording. That's right. Oh my God.
There could be a split up.
That's funny. He doesn't.
Richard asked me to show his afternoon walk. Let's see if I can.
Wow. That's amazing.
Wow, what is that?
They're winter chanterelles. Supposed to happen in October. They're out now and actually drying.
And Lynn, you are going to tell us exactly where those were, right?
Right. He put them up on Bowen everything. No, Blue Water Neighbors, and 20 questions from every neighbor of where, and all we can do is grant.
But Lynn, are these chanterelles on Bowen or indeed near Blue Water? Is there a secret code?
They're near the Mastodon.
Secret. In the cove in general store.
No. Obviously, no one can keep a secret in this group.
So, should we just let the bidding begin, or?
Amanda.
They'll be gone. They'll be gone after the meeting for dinner. So.
No.
Okay, well, let's begin anyway. Thanks for being here, those of you who made it. It's a pity to spoil a lovely summer evening by having a Zoom meeting, but there we are. Right next door to me, there's another Zoom meeting going on, which is the library board. My friend Susan Munro is running. So the whole island is at a Zoom meeting right now. Anyway, what we would like to do right to start off with is have a Rotary moment, which is going to be told us by Robert. So Robert, you're on.
Okay. I'm inspired by a few things this week. And one of the things is our new Rotary theme, which is Rotary Opens Opportunities. And let me begin. I presume you can see that. I don't really know when I do these screens here, but you're looking at the the front page of our Rotary website, I hope. I've been a Rotarian since, I think, early summer of 2011. That's 9 years. And this week I was musing about what could be accomplished by thinking like a Rotarian and thinking about this Rotary Opens Opportunities and how we as individuals can imagine small or large projects that create better communities and a better world. And there's a couple of examples that you know about, but maybe some of the newer members don't know all of this. But when Rotarian Corporal Paula Oriega told us about the difficulty in finding street addresses for the RCMP, the fire department, the ambulance, and messenger services, this club took on the responsibility for setting the example of good and visible street numbers. We make them available, numbers that are brilliantly reflective in car headlights, and you can read them up and down the street. And I think they've made a huge difference on the island. And then when Bowen realized that it would be useful for him to have his own automated external defibrillator, an AED, as a very civic-minded citizen, he decided to share it with his neighbors by mounting it on a tree by the road. And realizing that the current medical services on the island can't possibly respond to a sudden cardiac arrest, he came to Rotary with the concept that these should be locally available in every neighborhood on the island. The community and the municipality has been very supportive, as you know, and this club is still rolling out that wonderful program. Well, earlier this week, I was talking to my business associate, one of the Rotarians who convinced me to join Rotary when it began on Bowen Island. She's in Olympia, Washington, about the pandemic. As you know, Rotary has some experience in eliminating a terrible disease, polio. And for this talk, I looked this up so I knew what was going on here. I didn't realize that it really began back in 1979 when James Bomar, the international president of Rotary, and Enrique Garcia, the Minister of Health for the Philippines, signed an agreement committing Rotary International and the government of the Philippines to a joint multi-year effort to immunize about 6 million children against polio at a cost of about $750,000. That project was successful, and that led Rotary to make polio eradication a top priority. And it launched POLIOPLUS in 1985 and was a founding member of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative in 1988. And since then, Rotary and its many partners have seen more than 2.5 billion children receive the oral polio vaccine. And in 1994, polio was eliminated from the Americas. By 2000, the Western Pacific from Australia to China was polio-free. And in 2012, India was free of polio. And imagine the colossal effort to achieve that. Well, just this month, and maybe this is what tweaked me to all of this, no polio virus has been detected in Nigeria since 2016. And the country has been removed from the list of polio endemic countries. And so the work goes on. So Sherry and I were talking about how the new normal of social distancing and self-isolation bubbles and other precautions in the presence of SARS-CoV-2 will come to an end. Well, this virus is in many ways more vulnerable than the polio virus. It cannot remain infectious for very long outside of its host. We know by now as aerosols, it can hover in the air and be viable for up to 3 hours or 4 hours on copper. I understand on cardboard up to 24 hours, and it can still be viable on plastic and stainless steel and shiny surfaces for up to 3 days. But it has a special ability that makes it very different from the flu, to which it's been compared often, and maybe far more devastating. A human can have no symptoms but be infectious for days and even weeks in some cases. And we understand that there's really 3 potential remedies to that's going to bring an end to all of this. One is to isolate everyone who is infectious. We've not been very successful in really doing that. Partially successful, but not completely. Find an effective treatment. There's some evidence that treatments are coming along. Or the ultimate one is to have a vaccine. And everything I've read about this is, in spite of all the optimism, we are probably years away from having and distributing vaccines. So where am I going with all of this? In my whole life, this is the first time all of humanity has faced a common threat that everybody recognizes. There are common threats, climate change and species extinction and such, but not everybody buys into that. But this one everybody recognizes. It's as if the aliens have landed and they are powerful and hostile and everywhere. Whatever the solution, whether it's social, chemical, or biological, we're many months or probably years away from having the solution and invoking it. And so far, I, and probably you have not been very impressed with the political governmental agencies that we're counting on to resolve the situation. So what Sherry and I were talking about is maybe this is an opportunity, a chance for our species as a whole to pull together in the face of a common enemy. And maybe Rotary, with its experience with polio and its global contacts and credibility, is the agency to create the vision and organize a cogent program to accomplish the job. Now, tonight, I'm not here to propose a program. All I want to do is show that with the resources of Rotary, the history of its amazing successes, and an army of 1.2 million volunteers, when you think, what can I do as an individual? My hopeless thinking 9 years ago, the answer for you as a Rotarian is almost anything you imagine. That's it. Thank you.
Nice. Wow.
Thanks, Vaughn. Oh, there it is. There's
Robert, not Bob.
Robert.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I got confused. It's nice to see you, Vaughn. And Robert, thank you so much. That I think there is a big connection between polio and COVID, and it'll be very interesting to see where we go from here. Goodness. So glad we're not in the States. So glad our daughter and family have moved up from the States.
There's Robin peeking in.
Sorry?
Robin is peeking in from the side of your frame.
Yeah, eyeball.
I'm here, but I'm just peripheral.
Lurking. You're lurking.
He's lurking. There we are. Okay, got it. Thank you very much, Robert. Yeah, the new theme, Rotary creates opportunities. I was looking at what our new director general, what's he called? The president of Rotary International was saying. Rotary creates opportunities for us to strengthen our leadership in the community. And I thought, oh yeah, we do that already. It also, we should be putting service ideas into action. Well, our club does that all the time. And finally, improve lives of people who need help. And in our international projects, we're doing that as well. So we're doing pretty well. But of course, there's always room for improvement. And we have a new member who is going to help us do that, because she is a lifesaver. And
Literally.
yeah, Amanda,
Amanda.
I had
Literally a lifesaver.
yeah, absolutely. I had a look at the what Rotary says you should do when you're inducting new members, and it was about 5 pages long of stuff that the president has got to say to you. So I said,
Thank you, Hillary.
forget all that.
Okay.
But it did strike me that I was supposed to be talking about the 4-way test. And I said to myself, it's been a while since we even talked about the 4-way test in our meetings. Can anyone tell me about the 4-way test? What number 1 is?
Cynthia?
Oh,
Is it the truth, right?
yes. Is it truthful? Is it?
Number 2, what is that?
Wait,
yeah,
I have to look it up.
Helen.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goat.
Wait, I got it here somewhere.
No, it's honor your father and mother, isn't it?
No, that sounds right.
So number 2 is it fair to all concerned? Number 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And it had sort of gone out of my mind totally. And I thought, this is what we're supposed to be doing. But we know that Oh, you got it.
I got it. Hang on a second.
Amanda, we know you tell the truth all the time to everyone. No problem. Except to Ella, maybe. Yeah. And you
Fair
said
enough.
are fair and everything you do is beneficial to all concerned and you build huge amount of goodwill in the community. So how can we not say that we're thrilled to have you in the club?
Oh, thanks.
You're supposed to be given a pin, and in the interests of the environment, we don't have any pins. Sorry about that, but
You can have one of mine.
I'll put it on.
Robin has a few you could borrow. Because we did hand out a lot of pins in the past, but somehow that's done by the board. And so,
Totally fine.
That's the best deal?
sorry?
Sorry, can they hear you?
Maybe. Sorry, we might just be remortgaging at 2.1. That's what the phone got.
Oh, your dog's excited.
That's amazing. Anyway,
Sorry.
So Amanda, as
Yes.
a new member,
okay.
what we have been doing is asking you to
Be president.
to be president, our next president.
President-elect.
Exactly. Tell the membership that is here a little bit about yourself. Oh,
I would say I'm an accidental board member, starting back from the Bowen Community or the Bowen Children's Center, and then became the president of that for years, which was crazy. And then the Bix Pack, and then anyway, at the moment I'm on the Community Foundation, the Helping Hands, which is part of the Community Foundation, NERPS, and part of our Strata, and now Rotary. But I'm passionate about being part of your AED program, which Bon and I have nurtured all the way, right, Bon? Oh, Bon's muted.
no, Bon's muted.
Bon, you haven't got a voice.
Unmute, Bon. Oh, Robert, can you unmute him?
Yes,
There he is.
yes, with the help of the guy you live with.
Yes, right. The money.
Yeah, well, I just think it's terrific that you are joining us. And I mean, you have lived on Bowen for how many years?
Many.
Very tactfully put.
Yeah.
I remember you when you're in a school uniform.
I know. I used to babysit your kids.
There you go.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and
Yeah.
we are so happy that you are going to
Join us.
from now on, and we will make sure that you are on the board in the not too distant future. See if you're good at boards.
Thank you for joining, Amanda.
Thanks, Lynn.
So let's move on to the next thing. I actually changed the agenda this morning because I realized, having talked to the credit union, that we need a motion to add the new signatories to our bank account at First Credit Union. So I would like someone to propose a motion to add myself and Cynthia and anyone else who would like to be added to anyone else on the board to be added as signatories to our account at the First Credit Union.
That would be Stephen as well, right?
And Stephen. Stephen, would you like to be a signatory?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay, so that's the three of us. Who would like to
Move.
propose?
Allard is already on it, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. And Damien's on it. And Bourne, are you on it?
No,
No.
No.
You want to be on it?
no.
I signed years ago,
Robert is on it, right? Yeah.
and I'll
You're
move.
muted.
Oh, you move, Robert. Okay.
I'll second.
And who's seconding? I didn't hear that.
Bon.
Bond.
Robert and Bourne. Okay. So now I can take that to the First Credit Union and they will allow us.
You got to vote on.
Oh yeah, okay, all in favor? Woof.
Aye.
All against? No. Okay, thank you very much.
Hillary, when we did that for the Nook, when I was secretary for, treasurer for the Nook, I had to bring in the minutes, written minutes of the meeting to show them.
Yeah, I gave them the minutes of the AGM and I will get it to them. Thank you for that, Lynn. Yeah.
Because you might need to, like, tonight's written as some kind of minutes with that written, that who seconded it, that kind of thing. Like, that's what I had to take into them.
Yeah, I have the letter from last year. I found it today with all the information. So I'll just copy that and send it off.
Okay.
So, Hillary, do I have to go in and sign then at the bank?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
You will.
I don't think so. I don't. Do you know, Allard, when you did this, did you have to go in and sign something?
Absolutely. You have to leave a sample signature.
A sample signature.
Yeah.
And $1,000 down, right?
Donation.
Seems fair.
The first mortgage on your firstborn.
Speaking of samples, Damien just texted to say he's not joining us. Poor guy, oh my God.
Many of us have been through.
We've all been there, right? Like, oh God.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so we're going to move on now to the discussion of the bulb, not the bulb, the bulb project. Robert, could you share the screen on the bulb project?
Yes, I'm just looking for it right now.
Okay. Did you all, Robin, shut up. Did you all have a look at this? I bet you didn't. But Sheila is going to come to the meeting, but she was busy putting her granddaughter to bed. So she said she might be late, and could I kind of talk about this project at this meeting so that we could maybe vote on, actually, I don't think we even have to vote. We just have to all agree it's a good project. If you remember, those of you who have been members for a while, quite a long time ago, Sheila raised quite a lot of money for her daughter's project in South Africa called Kunavalela. And it was to bring a water pump, a windmill to a very remote rural area in South Africa. She raised quite a bit of money, and then she got a district grant to add to it. And I think they ended up sending about $4,000 to South Africa by Sheila pretty much on her own selling bulbs to the population of Bowen Island. And I know we certainly have some that still come up every year as a result of Sheila's mission to help out this community in South Africa. So at the board meeting last week, Sheila suggested again that we should maybe do a bulb project to raise money for the club. She said that possibly what we should do is raise some funds for the new health center, because that would be a good marketing gambit. And then we could save some of the funds we raise for other projects for the club. So everyone at the board meeting thought it was a great idea, but we need, and she stressed this really firmly, that we need everyone in the club to take part in this project, because without a good number of sales, we won't make any money, obviously. So what she suggested, if you look down here, I mean, obviously it fits the four-way test, that's not a problem. Down here we have the steps that happen for this project. we actually don't do too much. We fill out an application, which Sheila would do, and send it to the Van Noort Bulb Company, and they build a website for us. All we do is send out emails to our friends and neighbors and anyone that we can think of to encourage them to buy some bulbs. And there are at least 20 little packages of bulbs. I think they average about $8 to $10 each, depending on what is in them. I don't have a picture of what they have this year, but we will get that once they have made up our website. And then they fulfill the order and ship the orders to us. Sheila said that what happens is they don't ship the order directly to the people who we have encouraged or who we have encouraged to place orders with. The entire order would come to one person on Bowen Island, like Sheila or myself, because we are the champions of the project. And then we would hand them out, like we would phone people and say, your order is here, come and pick it up on such and such a day. And then we receive 50% of the sales at the end of the program, and having not spent any money ourselves other than what we spend on the bulbs. So it seems like a pretty good project to me. And what she suggested is that everyone should try to encourage at least 8 people to contribute to this project, to order bulbs that contribute to this project. So she said it'll probably take about 5 hours each just to kind of get organized with our friends. And of course, there are no expenses as far as we are concerned. We are just encouraging other people to order these bulbs.
And order them ourselves.
And order them ourselves, of course, yeah. So we would each be one of the number of 8 people that we are hoping to get. And I said to her, how do you know that everyone has got 8 people to order? And she said, there's no way. You just go on the honor system. That's what people do. They just say, you know, please do it. Vaughn, you have a question?
Yeah, is it possible with that to, I don't know, put a table outside of the Ruddy or someplace and sell on a weekend? And can you do that?
Oh,
Just basically distributing, you know, some kind of, well, here's a flyer with this information on it, and advertising that it's, you know, going 50% of all funds will go to the health center and 50% to community projects or something like that.
yeah. Can we do that in this time of COVID?
I don't know.
But
I mean, I can go to the store.
Put it on
right
our
now.
website.
I wonder if we could talk to the flower shop and see if they'd be interested in teaming with us on that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think they sell bulbs.
What about it for at each of the mailboxes, on the bulletin board, to put a laminated copy, like what you're saying, Bon, of saying, please support us and
Right.
support Rotary on Bowen. And
Yeah.
And then in that
Yeah.
case, we would have one person.
You're not allowed to put notices up on the mailboxes.
Oh, thank
No, I
you.
would suggest a sort of a one-time handout into mailboxes with an order form, because that way it'll get to most people here on the island. And I think, you know, we haven't had a bulb distribution, you know, it's like 3 or 4 years ago when it was done, and we bought some then.
Yeah.
And I think, so I don't think there's any problem selling the bulbs. It's just a matter of the logistics.
Delivery.
It costs a bit of money to send a flyer out. I
It
think
costs about $100 and some odd.
I think it's 200 and something nowadays. They've done
200? No, I wouldn't.
don't
Oh,
forget-
just for a single sheet of paper? I'm not certain, but anyhow.
are we stepping on the toes of the Bowen Island, the flower club?
Garden club.
The
No.
garden
Garden club. No, we've already spoken to them. and that's fine. And Bill Brown is very happy to let us use the medical center as our hook. A proportion of our collection goes to the medical center, and they're very prepared to appear in our publicity. In fact, very happy that we even thought of them. The logistics of it is not a major problem because Vernoot, as far as I can understand, Vernoot handles everything. And we will get the orders here, and only then will we have to distribute. So if you've sold to a particular person off island, it will be necessary for you to see that they get their bulbs. I don't think we're in competition with anybody. Nobody else does it.
Sheila, if we did this as someone suggested, using the mailbox or the Canada Post mailbox idea.
You're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to. What do you
They
mean?
won't let you.
Oh, really?
If you put a notice up on the mailbox, they will take it down.
No, sorry.
No, there's bulletin boards.
I mean, sending it out to every person who has a mailbox. An island-wide mailing.
I quite honestly, we can try that, but I think it's an expense that's unnecessary. I think if everybody just made a list of the people who are possible on their emails, I am quite happy to send an email out to everybody. I don't mind doing that just to make sure we don't duplicate. Otherwise, we can duplicate, it doesn't really matter.
Well, maybe we could use our NERP list.
We can use NERP lists, we can use any list we can clap hands on. You know, like
I think Sheila's right.
All the people who bought from me in the past, I've got their names in my computer. So I know that they are susceptible to buying bulbs. I mean, some of them have moved and some of them are no more, but I know that they are susceptible to it.
Ella, do you want to say something?
I think Sheila's right. I think that our sort of the power of our social media impact or reach on Bowen will get us to every corner of Bowen within about a day, I would assume. So I think that's right. I think you just, you present it to your close friends and they do it in turn. And, within a day you've reached 5,000 people, you know what I mean? So yeah. I think that's right. And so one question I would have, is this something that we just do annually then and kind of commit to the health center?
I don't think we should commit to doing it annually. Let's see how it goes this year.
Okay.
Well, once we have the monopoly on it, then we can.
No, once we've done it.
It might be a monopoly on a dog.
Once we've done it, if it's successful, it could fall flat on its face.
Not the Van Nuyts.
But I don't think so, because they're good bulbs. I've lost everybody.
No, well, we haven't lost you.
Okay, well, I've lost everyone, so I'm talking to a blank screen with Zoom on it.
Also good.
That's happened to me before as well, Sheila.
I can only see Sheila or Hillary's forehead right now anyway, but
it's the best part of me.
I'm assuming that the payment goes through the website, so we don't have to even deal with that.
That's
right.
As far as I can understand. Now, in previous years, when I've been involved in selling these bulbs, we have got order forms that each seller has got, and they've had the little pamphlet and brochure, and they've had to approach people directly. Will you please buy some bulbs? Now they have changed doing the printed thing. I mean, obviously, if you want to print up a sheet because you prefer to speak to people face to face, that's up to you as a seller. But now they have put it all on the website. They build a website for us. I don't know what the website looks like. I haven't seen one. All we do is that we approach people and they can then send in direct to Vernoot to our website. They can order direct from there, stating whether they live on Bowen, in which event they won't pay any shipping, or if we don't want them, like if they're in West Van or or if you manage to sell some to somebody on Vancouver Island, they will ship direct to Vancouver Island.
That's perfect.
Obviously, they will pay for it. The people buying will pay for it.
Yeah.
But on Bowen, if they come in a bulk order to Bowen for us to distribute, we don't pay for that.
That sounds good. And then we can distribute to everyone ourselves.
We can distribute, like in the old days, I used to sit outside, either in the parking lot at the library, and tell people I'd be there from 9 to 12, please collect your bulbs. And amazingly enough, they collected them for the most part. And if they have paid up front, which they now have to do, then they will collect their bulbs.
Absolutely. And we can get them if they don't.
You'll still get a few people who won't collect. I mean, it's like the signs, you know, you can email them 6 times and say your sign is waiting for collection, and they still don't collect. But that's them. Their $47 is down the tube. That's their problem. And then we can resell the bulbs to somebody else.
Yeah.
When does this occur, Sheila? What time of year?
Now, it starts at the beginning of August and finishes end of September.
So it's got to be done quick, quick, quick.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same. One of them.
Yeah, Robert's put up the original one for the
That's the old one. Yeah. No, they for Noords do one. It isn't as on my screen. It wasn't nearly as bright and colourful as that. I've lost it. I can't find it on my screen. But we have 20. We have 20 bulbs, 20 different packets that they make up of tulips and daffodils and muscari and alliums, and I can't remember what else is in the pack. And these little anemones.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a selection.
Who coordinates with Van Noort as to the build out of the website so that it has the Bowen logo like this one does, etc.?
Well, I will.
Okay.
I'll make sure that it happens, that it's got to have a proper logo on it.
Okay.
I'll make sure about that.
Yeah, Sheila and I will be in charge of the kind of administration and the handing out. All we would ask you to do is to sell them.
And what we can do, if you want us to, is to provide a suggested letter to send to people, you know, that the Rotary Club of Bowen Island, of which I am a member, blah, 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 and whatever we're saying, and that a portion of what we raise will be going to support the medical centre, and the rest will be going to support Rotary, other Rotary projects. So that's it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to have a personal letter from each of us.
Cool emotion.
Yeah.
Okay, does everyone agree that in principle that this is a good...
I think Bon's got a question here.
Sorry, Bon.
Well, just can we put on Bowen Island buy and sell on the Facebook page?
Certainly on the Facebook page. I don't know if we can do it. I don't see why not.
I think we can do it on Bowen Island, everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, getting an ad into that shows that we're doing it for the health center and community projects would be a good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That we could do, and then, you know, make one central person who ought to go to our website or contact Hillary or myself.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to order.
You could send them directly to the website that they're providing.
Well, no, you could, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's a great idea. Thank you.
That's a great idea. Thanks, Vaughan. I think we must just think of every avenue we can think of that doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any other comments?
Maybe we could have an internal competition to see who gets the most sales.
Yeah, I thought of that. But you'll get some free bulbs if you win the competition.
Exactly, right? That'd be perfect.
And then we'll get somebody who doesn't garden.
Don't pick up.
We might have terrible fights amongst ourselves.
I emailed that person.
Yeah, I emailed that person. No, I did. She's a better friend of mine than you are.
Hillary, the four-way test.
Well, it's always going to be the most connected person that suggests the competition, eh?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Are we
So-
all in agreement that this is a good idea? Just put up your hands so we know if everyone thinks this is a good idea. Okay, great.
Your
Thank
hand's not up, Bourne. What's your?
I know I did. I put it up.
Sorry, didn't see
It's
it.
hard to see your hand, Bourne, sometimes.
Is it?
Sheila, thank you so much for this suggestion. I think it's a great idea.
I hope it works. So
Yeah.
I'll go ahead
So
and
do
I'll
I.
tell for note that we want to sign up and then see where we go from there. Okay.
And we really depend on every member of the club.
Yeah, no, everybody, please pull your weight.
As you said last time, you were the one who was doing all the selling. The rest of us just put in one order each and that was it.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question, just some housekeeping stuff then from my perspective. Do I set up a separate account for the collection of this money, which is then specifically dedicated to that? Or is it, do you think it'll come in like in one check?
It'll come in one check, Allard.
Okay.
It'll come in one check. I'm quite sure with the accounting, you know, that we sold so much and 50% is ours and 50% is theirs.
Right. And then of the proceeds that we get,
50% should go to the medical center if that's what
50%.
we're saying is going to happen.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
So keep selling, folks, because we need money in Rotary.
We do.
You've got to really sell.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and it can be done. You know, it's just and the thing is, I think if you send out one email and if there's no response, I must find out from Notes if there's any way we can find out who's ordered. So that if we've sent emails to people and they haven't ordered, we can send another email to them to say, hey, have you forgotten?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Reminder.
Yeah, hug 'em.
You know, nag them a little bit.
Greasy wheel gets the oil, the grease.
Mm.
A nudge.
So I have just one question about distribution at the end. So all of these orders come in and they're shipped to Hillary's. And then it has to be organized a little bit. My battery's low, by the way. I might just cut off all of a sudden. Is it possible to maybe say, okay, these are the 2 days I want you to come to Collins Hall and collect your bulb orders?
Yeah,
Or
that's
our
we do.
house, you know, they
That's
can
what we
just
do.
come to our house maybe.
Or Sheila's.
Well, if it's at your house, then people tend to not come in those given times because they think, oh, well, she'll be there anyway. Whereas if we are, and we can't go Collins Hall because of COVID, we can't go to any of the distribution places that we normally go. So basically the only thing we can do is sell them out the back of the car. Unless Sarah Haxby lets us take a stand at the market.
Great.
When will we have the bulbs delivered?
Early October.
Sorry, when? In October?
Early October.
Early
So
October.
the market's over by then.
Market, well, they say the market will carry on through October, but yeah.
Well, you know, let's see. That's something that's got to be sorted out down the road.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out.
Yeah. It'll be, but that's, you know, it's the biggest job in that whole, and I see for Notes are doing it. The biggest job in all of that was they sent us, for instance, 10 people would order a packet of Mascari and 10 would order B and 10 would order C and 5 would order something else, was to sort out all those orders because they send you 10 packets, 10 packets, 10 packets, and somebody has got to put them into the little order bags. Now, I gather that Notes are doing that this time.
Oh.
That is the biggest job. And
Wow.
it's a job that actually only one person can do, otherwise you lose count. And you land up at the end short of 2 packets of Mascari, and you've got 100 orders.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, that's great.
You know, so, but I gather they are doing it this time.
Oh, well, that's terrific. Thank you so much, Sheila.
Okay, well, I hope it goes well.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
We will push it forward.
Let's quickly whip through all the other projects that we are doing right now, just so that we are all up to date. I'm still a bit confused about these AEDs, Allard.
Hillary.
We got kind of mixed up with the NERP project. What is actually going on right now with the AEDs?
I would say 0 with the NERP projects because that's waiting on other things. We have a commitment for a box out at the golf course, and we've identified at least 10 locations for AEDs to be appropriately placed. But I would say that we're all very happy to have Amanda O on the job because she's committed to working specifically with Rotary for the placement of AEDs. And so my sense is that we've all been on hold a little bit for the last few months.
Yeah.
And there's probably no reason to be on hold anymore. So yeah, we were talking about that earlier today before dinner, and lots of good ideas about, we know where they need to go. It's a matter of staying true to the 1/3, 2/3 fundraising piece and making sure that they go where the municipality wants them in order of priority. And
Right.
so, and I think Amanda has a couple of ideas, and you've certainly got at least 2 kind of commitments, I guess, for lack of a better word, for specific AED placements. And then there's at least 2 other discussions where we could pursue, but they're outside of the ideal location as we determined with the BIM.
Is
Right.
this related to the NERP sites or not at all?
No, not at all. Although, but the NERP site seems to be, and I only have secondhand information from maybe a month ago, but the NERP sites seem to be embroiled in issues of easements and right-of-ways associated with roads and locations of these locations. And so, not sure. I mean, we've been committed to, or at least loosely committed to, being part of the phase 2 of the NERP locations and being able to, hang AEDs off finished units. But I haven't seen any sort of progress on the NERP, signage kiosk program. So, yeah.
Okay. Does someone have their hand up?
Hi, Bon. I just have a question. Allard and Amanda, I sent you 2, I had 2 inquiries. Did anything follow out of those?
Yeah, so the one on Evergreen, it was Dr. Blackwood's wife.
Okay.
And they were going to take it to their AGM for their strata. And I
Okay.
gave her all the information and I haven't heard, so I'm going to follow up with her. And then the
Okay.
other was Billy Beam at Snug Point, and they're
Right.
also in their AGM. Everyone's bringing it up to their groups for AGM.
Okay.
So, and I just saw her yesterday, and we're going to talk soon and
Okay.
where they're at. But it'd be
Yeah.
great to have like a group feel of where else. I know Eagle Cliff is another spot we've been talking about, but we've never quite done it. And Cynthia, I think you were going to speak to that maybe at some point, or you had a connection there.
Yeah, so I'm part of that kiosk project here, but everything has been hung up with the Bowen Island municipality in terms of when you think it's like an agreement.
It's like the riparian. There's something to do with
well, not so much the riparian report or evaluation or whatever. It's more the design of the kiosks.
Oh yes, I think I
hang
heard.
up on the design, and then there's some kind of a service agreement that has to be, passed through the municipality, and we finally have the go-ahead. We're just waiting for some final details for the kiosk here, and then we can take down the existing one. We have the we're clear to actually build it, but
Okay.
those few things. So then we'll know where we can put in this thing an AED. So they wanted to incorporate it within that kiosk if we could. That would be the best.
Okay. So an AED will be in the kiosk.
We're gonna have to have a little birdhouse to make it.
Maybe.
That's our plan, but I mean, there's been so many hoops, it's crazy. I never knew there'd be so many layers to a municipality.
It might be bad timing. It could be bad timing because I think we had a pretty good time, didn't we, Bon?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're putting up a pole with a little birdhouse on it as opposed to a meeting hall.
Yes, I understand that.
But I think the kiosk really just has two posts with a bit of a, anyway, yeah.
How hard can it be is what we thought, but
Yeah, no.
clearly there's more to this.
I think it was
That
bad
meets
luck.
the eye. I mean, oh.
The biggest thing we ran into was we had to make sure that if a snow plow came along, it wasn't going to hit the thing. That was our biggest
I know.
problem.
So lucky, as it turns out.
I think the kiosks make a natural place, and in some cases they overlap. But the last time we met with Jen in her capacity as the BIM, we identified, I think, 10 locations that the municipality felt were key locations. And they are Bowen Court, Harding Road, and at that time there's a sponsor because Randy, Twin Island Randy was going to match or something like that. So he was going to do a grant for getting one at Harding Road.
Nice.
And then Eagle Cliff, Bishop's Hill, Cowan Road, Sunset Drive near Clive's house, one at Mount Gardner, probably sort of in the split there at what's that place, that farm called?
Enzo.
Well,
another one at Eagle Cliff.
Two at Eagle Cliff.
Bannister Road, Brenshaw. I've got some notes here. I'm not sure what that's about, but I think that's
Those are all Eagle Cliff, yeah.
Those are all Eagle Cliff, right? And then we have our contact at Roger Curtis. They're ready to do one now, but it's not the ideal location for the BIM because there's nobody out there.
Right.
And so even though we have, Candy Ho wanting to sponsor one, not the sort of ideal location for the municipality. Right?
Yeah.
A couple of other places, Valhalla, Belterra.
Yeah.
I've got Collins Hall written down here, but I'm not sure about that. Kate's Hill,
That's
so
more than 10. That's a lot more than 10.
Who's counting?
I think there's some doubling up there, yeah.
There's a few double ups, right? But
Like Bowen Bay and Blue Water.
We've got them.
There's 4 of them here, yeah.
We've owned this area.
Yeah, right.
Right, Bon?
Yep.
So I have a question. With the grant that we got from the district, how many would that cover, given the fact that the communities would be contributing?
10 units if every unit, if every community raised money towards matching the grant or a third, 2/3 of the grant,
Right.
then there's 10 units. But in the past we were able to raise money beyond that. So if the location that wants it is willing to raise $2,400, then that's just no impact on our grant money at all, right? So then that carries or pays one forward, and I think we ended up with over 20 or something, right?
23, I think. But I'm not sure.
From a grant that was intended to be 10.
Yeah.
Now that may not happen.
Allard or Bon, I have what may be a dumb question. The Muni is busy sort of saying where they want to put these birdhouses up, but why would you put up a birdhouse at let's say Bowen Court when the ambulance is right next door?
Well, there actually is already one at Bowen Court.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
They want to replace it. Yeah.
It's
They have to
old.
replace it.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
There's one at Bowen Court now.
Yeah.
It's old and it needs to be replaced.
Okay, I thought these things were then taken over by the Muni.
No, not this one. This one predates this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one in particular was sponsored by the Legion, and it's years and years and years ago. And
okay. No, understood. Okay. I just asked the question because I think there's a question about sort of you put them by population rather than by sort of geographic distribution. But
I think
Yeah, fair enough.
I think
Fair
all
enough.
of it, yeah. But I think the truth is that if the ambulance is out on another call, then
Yeah.
Bowen Court needs it, and that's could possibly be there.
oh yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just simply saying that I think that the Muni is sort of quite happy to scatter these things around at our expense. We have to ask the difficult questions. Well, why did you choose there, or why did you choose there?
Actually, I think that, to be honest, don't you think that was just we all talked about that together, Allard?
Yeah, it's you have to take into account the concentration of seniors, right?
Yes.
And so,
Oh no, good
obviously-
GIS system will fix that for you.
That's an obvious place.
I didn't sense that the BIM was sort of telling us that. It was more
No.
of a conversation.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that's certainly, so is that going to kind of get, you said there's been a bit of a lapse for a while. Is there kind of some movement forward going to happen in the next while, or what is?
Yes.
Yes. There's at least 4 conversations, and it's pent up because we've been quiet.
Yeah.
And so there's activity to do right now. And so, you know, we need to get Peter on the job of building, 5 birdhouses, for example.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And I think we can just start those conversations, or sort of revisit those conversations, and get at least 3 or 4 placed in the next, couple months, I would say.
Yeah, there's definitely energy there. Yeah.
There's no point having that money sitting in our account because it's earmarked only for AEDs, right?
Right.
So let's get AEDs built. And
Okay.
So, Amanda and Allard, just a reminder, I do have the demo birdhouse. The one that we built for, so if there's all of a sudden rush, we could always take it apart,
and use it.
remove it from
and use it, right?
That's great. Thanks, Bon.
That's terrific. Thank you very much about that. It's really cleared up my mind on what's going on, because I got so confused with the NERP project. House numbers. Sheila, do you have an update? Or
I've got 4 at the factory, and I've just, after 3 weeks of waiting, I've finally got 5 signs. Getting them here has become an absolute nightmare, but as with all nightmares, I think it's come to an end in that I've found somebody who actually worked for Dane, but he lives on the island, and he goes out that way every 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
And he's quite happy to pick up. But what I'm going to now do is I'm only going to order once a month, because they're coming in so slowly that it's actually, they're coming in 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
And I'm only going to put in an order once a month. But we are continuing. And you are aware now that the office is closed, that one of my major people who's been telling people that they haven't got a house number and will they please do something about it, that has now fallen away, because I gather they've stopped delivering as well.
Alan Mills is taking them over.
Well, that's even worse. So thank you very much.
But he won't last long.
We'll see what happens there. Anyway, that's great. As everyone says, as Robert said at the beginning, they're up and about, all those signs all around the island.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing how noticeable they are.
They are very noticeable.
Yeah, it was a wonderful idea of, what's his name? Paolo,
yeah. Great.
Sheila, I'd be happy to help you with that as well.
I don't need any help. There isn't any help. Thank you.
Okay.
I do think we need to keep advertising, though. We need to encourage more people.
Advertising is a big thing. That we've got to keep going with. But Amanda, I've now got it down to they can either pick up an order and send in the order, or they can phone me. Or send me an email. I prefer that they send me an email, because then I can keep a record of the inquiries, and I just email them back, tell them how much it costs. Do they want it horizontal or vertical? Can I please have their payment? Because until I've got their payment, I'm not ordering. And if they send me payment, either by e-transfer or by check, I order. And if they don't, I don't order. and I send them a reminder and say, I'm ordering next week. Will you please send me your payment? And if they don't send it, they don't want to sign.
Perfect.
No, I'm
What's
not
your
prepared to
email?
go running after them forever and ever and ever. But I
It's
do
a
think
little-
that maybe we should do a burst of maybe an
Yeah.
ad in the paper or a Facebook ad or, you know, some way of advertising, just to say you can still get them.
Yeah, it'd be great to know that it's
It is
still
on
there.
the website.
Yeah, let's
And
think.
I've had several people coming through from the website.
Mhm.
Oh, good.
And Catherine's doing a great job up at the pharmacy. So.
Yes, and it's right up in front when you go into the pharmacy. There are the trails guides, and in fact, I'm going to put one of Peter's bigger donation boxes there so that we have lots of space, because everyone goes to the pharmacy at one stage or another, and it's great
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
that little brochure of yours there.
But there are lots of
Jeff,
people.
what's
that
your
are
email?
like Bill Brown? Do you know Bill Brown?
Yeah.
Bill ordered one from me the other day when I phoned him. He said, you know, I've been meaning to do it for about 2 years. And I've never got around and said, please, will you order me a sign? You know, and I think there are a lot of people like that who think, oh, I should do it. And it just goes out their mind.
Well,
Right.
let's talk about some kind of promotion, Sheila.
Sorry?
Let's talk about some kind of promotion.
You are. Right.
Maybe in September, you know, in the summer, people are kind of lazy.
Well, and not only that, but then they leave the island and I'm left with their sign for 6 months,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
because they've gone. Was it you who asked me for my email address, Amanda?
Lynn, I did.
You. Sheila Webster, EILA. Sheila Webster at shore.ca.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, because we are doing very well here, but we need to keep up our time limit. I want to show you here. Can you see? This is the new
Yes.
Trails Guide.
Yes.
Glad.
Amanda laughing away.
I hadn't seen it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Aw.
great. Do you like it, Allard? I think it was Amanda's choice. Was this was the photograph that she took.
Allard said he's sorry, but he just went to go and pick up Poppy, but he'll be back in a minute. Oh,
Okay.
I love that. Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great. In
Yeah.
fact, it's not, this Trails Guide is on view at the tourism cottage. I'm trying to use up the older ones at the moment. I thought we'd have run out of them by now, but then COVID struck and
Right.
of course we weren't handing them out. So I still have a few from the previous lot that I really want to give out rather than toss into recycling. But
Right.
if you go down to the tourism cottage,
Yes.
you'll see them there, and I have lots, 5,000 in our house.
Oh, fantastic.
We handed out, and they're going like hotcakes because we have a lot of tourists right now. You may have noticed
Yes. Yeah.
the island.
A
And
few celebrities on that cover there.
no, we are honored to have them. Anyway, one thing about this, I was wondering, by the way, if you weren't at the board meeting, we actually passed a motion to send Rob Wall a gift certificate to the Tuscany because he did a lot of work on this and is not recompensed in any other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Nice.
we
Nice.
really appreciate what he's done year after year. I had a thought the other day. I was wondering whether with the resiliency fund,
What is that?
whether we should apply like we did a couple of years ago. We had Nick Nack Nook gave us a grant to send a copy of the Trails Guide to every house on Bowen Island. And I was wondering whether the Resiliency Fund or the committee would be interested in granting us some money to do so, because after all, we're trying to encourage everyone to get out and explore the island at social distancing. And so if they have a Trails Guide, they won't all end up in Crippen Park.
I can do that.
What do you think? You
I
think
can work on that. Yeah.
you're a member of the committee, aren't you, Amanda?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You and Ted are my
That was easy. Yeah.
and you have you have interest in being known all around the island. Even more than you are now.
Well, that new one.
So I might just apply because it's free money.
Do. Yes, do.
Last time they paid for the printing of 200 or however many it was, plus sending them out by Canada Post. So I might just do that if that's all right with everyone.
Yeah.
Great.
A good idea to get rid of them because we're always, it's nice to have a new guide coming out every second year because there are new trails coming up. And I know that Allard will have some changes and I couldn't put the Grafton Lake Trail in here because it's not officially open yet. So it's nice to be able to, we did have on this map, on this guide, we have a whole lot of new information about Mount Gardner, which is quite nice because the Trail Society is doing such a great job of the signage and all the rest. So that's the only thing that's really new. And there's just something saying, something somewhere on the Dorman Point Trail saying, guess what? There are going to be new trails opened on this trail because Metro Parks bought up that land that was in receivership on Dorman Point.
Oh.
Anyway, that's it.
That ties into a grant that went to the Trail Society from the Community Foundation. So this is perfect. I would I would apply for that right away, Hillary. That's great.
Good. I will do so. Thanks for that. Thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah.
Okay, the good old Rotary Run. Many of you will have received emails, but we will be doing, now that I have my daughter living on the island, she's going to help me with a big Facebook email bombardment starting in August. The virtual run is actually from August 22nd to 29th. So we want everyone to, we want to do the advertising mainly in August. And the point is everyone can do it this year. It's a run or a walk and you can sign up as a family. The whole family can do a walk or a run. And we have some really neat draw prizes from Lululemon. Socks and hats and bands and all sorts of things. And they're going to be distributed randomly, and there's a prize for the best photograph, the best family photograph.
Hey,
Hillary,
send all that
could we please book her in as a speaker sometime in August, sort of as a run up to the?
She would be happy to do so.
Can I leave that scheduling to you? You choose the appropriate time, but I think that it would be a great idea to have her come and speak about the project, but also to for you or her to talk about the logistics for the virtual run.
Good idea. We'll do that in the first meeting in August. And by the way, Adam, your idea about getting someone from Rwanda, the time does not work. That it's it's the middle of the night in Africa at the time.
No, I realize that that there are issues involved. But no, your daughter would certainly be an appropriate proxy.
Right, great. Okay, on to Bird. And I was hoping that Ross would talk about it, but he's actually in 76 Mile House, I think he called it, as we speak.
Sounds like no man's land.
Socially distancing.
Yeah, he is. Anyway, it's all over, thank goodness. And thanks to everyone who went out and did their shift. It was a lot of work, but everyone, the lady who was, what was her name? Deb, who was our lady on our day, was very impressed by our group of volunteers. She said we were the best. And
Deb Blankhorn.
Yes.
Deb, yeah, I heard that too from Louise. She said,
yeah,
the Rotary group is the best yet.
We are the stars. We are the stars. Hopefully that will translate into more money than anyone else.
Yes.
But
we have a lot of experience both in producing the raw material as well as sorting it out.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's Allard in the meeting still.
No. He just went to go and pick up our daughter. He'll be back in a minute. Yeah.
Okay. Hillary, may I be excused from your meeting, please? I'm very sorry to do this to you.
We are nearly at the
But,
end.
I've got a granddaughter who God knows what she's doing.
Well, maybe God should go and check on it.
I'm always around about. Okay, fine. If we're almost finished, I'll stick around. Thank you.
We're just about done. The reason I put Costa Alegre in, Adam, was that you and Allard were discussing how the payment would go, but seeing Allard's not there, you can probably just talk to him about that.
Yes, I will have to. I've emailed back to them. I've not heard anything from them, so I just don't know where they stand right now. But presumably we will not send them any money until we know where they stand.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you so much for that, Allard. That was a great speaker we had from your club down there. Yeah, a few things to talk about just before we leave. Ooh, yeah, meetings. First of all, I think Allard and Amanda, you have Brian Thomas Peter coming at our next meeting. This will not be next week. This will be the following week.
Yeah.
I think Allard said he was happy to come and talk about his new book, which is really interesting. It's
Yeah.
about,
The Duke of Wars. Yes.
So that'll be on the 30th. No meeting next week.
What?
Sorry?
Sorry. Talk about his what?
His book.
Oh,
About the Duke of Wars. Yeah, it's
About
in all Canadian information. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrific. So that's on the 30th. Then there's a board meeting on the 4th of August. So there will be no club meeting that week. So probably we'll get our daughter to come and talk to the following meeting, which is 4th, 6th, 7th, 13th of August. And then, yeah, we may or may not have another meeting in August. I think we should try for 2 meetings a month. Otherwise, we kind of lose connection with each other.
Yeah.
2
And
meetings,
Hillary,
board meeting.
we should try and get somebody from the undercurrent or whoever to sit in on our meeting in August when your daughter speaks.
Sure.
Because we need to sort of get as many avenues open as possible.
Yeah, I always write an undercurrent article in August for the run, and Bronwyn is great, but it would be really good to have her at the meeting. Thank you for that.
Yeah, good idea.
13th of
in
August.
September, we could have an article about the bulbs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, in
Yes, I agree. Excellent idea.
yeah,
In Rwanda in August, then we do the bulbs in September.
September bulbs. Okay, for undercurrents. Now, I don't know what you guys feel about social meetings. I mean, everyone misses our socials.
Yes.
And the last one we had was very successful. Not so successful in social distancing.
No, it wasn't. I scared the crap out of Richard when I came home and described the meeting. He just got me. I was really lucky he let me back in the house, actually.
Yeah, so I don't know how we would do it. I mean, we have a big deck and we have a big garden. We could do one there sometime. It would be up to club members again, and it's kind of sad when people can't come because they're really trying to adhere to the social distancing rules, and then they miss out on a good party. I'm still up in the air about this whole idea about social get-togethers. So any comment?
That our second wind is September, October are gonna be really bad.
Yeah. So maybe we should do it in August before we all are locked down again.
Well,
I don't know.
20 cases.
Well, I think it would have to be outside no matter what.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would have to be outside no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you are leaving at the end of August, aren't you?
Well, that's right. And by the middle of August, this place is going to look like a disaster.
No, we're not suggesting you have it at your house. I was just thinking. It'd be nice to have a social before you leave.
Oh, thank you. Yes, please.
Anyway, anyone got any other comments to make about a possible social sometime? No. Okay, let's think about it seriously. Maybe at the board meeting we can come to some conclusion. And the other point I was going to make is speakers. It makes, especially with Zoom meetings, it's so good to have excellent speakers, and we have had some really good ones. So if anyone has any suggestions, Adam is the person to talk to about speakers, or you could talk to, I can't remember, I think it was Damien who said he would also be on the speakers committee. Robert came up with a good idea and sent it to me this week. So we have a few ideas, but I know that Bowen has many contacts, and it would be great if we could get some good speakers going particularly for September. Once you know, we're not longing to be outside in the evening and doing the garden or drinking wine on the deck or doing whatever. But so yeah, once Paul comes in, we need to think about some good speakers. I'm sure Amanda knows lots of people who could entertain us.
Sure.
Sure. Anyway, I think that's just about it, and it's 10 to 9, which is a good time to end. I'm trying to make a point of ending as early as possible at this time of year. So thanks so much for coming, and I know that there are a few people who will need to be updated on bits and pieces, but I will do that because we need to get everyone in on the bulbs and all the other stuff. Anyone got anything to say before we sign off?
I'd just like to say welcome to Amanda.
Oh,
That was at the beginning of the meeting.
Thank
So
you.
thanks for joining us at last.
Yes.
Yeah.
To have you.
Uh-huh.
At last.
At last. Yeah, and I'm trying to encourage Anne Campbell to join.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Ron.
You talk to her.
I have talked to her, and she is not very encouraging. So we have to talk to her.
I'll talk to her on the road.
Okay, you do that. You do that. That would be good.
Because it would be
That would be
lovely
good.
to have her as a member.
That'd be great. Yes.
And what about Mike? Zavalio.
Well, Cynthia's muted. She's muted.
Oh, she's muted. Okay. Yeah, I keep on thinking about all these.
There she is. Yes, what about Mike?
He might be sleeping on the couch right now.
Oh,
Well,
Hard to tell.
anyway,
that's where all the best ideas come from.
yeah, we don't necessarily want to, you know, rush people into being members, but it would be nice to have a rounded 20 by the end of the year.
Hey,
And
Lynn.
it's lovely to see more young faces.
Yes.
I tell you, that to me is a breath of fresh air.
Oh,
And young means below 60, by the way.
My two sons are going to be living, well, one is already living upstairs, and Jason and his wife and the new baby will be arriving sometime in August.
Oh,
If you know,
awesome.
yeah, keep mentioning it to those guys.
Yes. They
I
would
keep running it past my son's too, Bon, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't that
I
a Rotary club or something when they're under 30?
What's that?
Our guys are 30 and up.
Oh, really? Oh, my goodness.
And
Yes.
Borns are 30 and up. Your kids are over 30, aren't they, Born?
Sean is 32 and Jason's 34.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those young kids.
And that's my kids. My kids are best friends with Bon's kids. They're the same age.
Yeah.
I must go, folks.
Make it all do together. Make it look
That's-
cool.
Meeting.
That's what we've been working on.
Uh,
Okay.
Sorry.
Great meeting, and lovely to have you all there.
they're worried I won't give them treats.
Hillary, can you just clarify, we're not meeting next
We
Thursday?
are
the
not
20
meeting next week. The next meeting is on the 30th, and we have a speaker organized, Brian Thomas Peter, and then that is it for July.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
It's
Thanks.
lovely to know you guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Good night. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Wear your masks.
Wear your mask.